Drake thought he was untouchable. The man who built his empire on platinum hits, sold-out arenas, and endless streams just crossed a line that may end up being the biggest mistake of his career. In a brand new track, Drake set his sights not only on Kendrick Lamar, the one rival who's been dismantling his credibility piece by piece, but also on none other than LeBron James, the king himself, the most beloved figure in basketball. What Drake expected to be a career-defining mic drop moment is spiraling into a nightmare he never saw coming. Within hours of the song's release, fans flooded social media in shock. Leaked snippets went viral, blogs exploded with headlines, and even industry insiders claimed they'd never seen Drake this reckless. The insults weren't playful jabs, they were brutal, personal, and shocking. But here's the kicker. Instead of burying Kendrick and humiliating LeBron, the backlash hit Drake harder than anyone could have predicted. His words detonated like a bomb, but the shrapnel is cutting straight into his own legacy. And now, insiders are saying this might be the beginning of Drake's downfall. Fans are turning. Celebrities are speaking out. Even LeBron himself is rumored to be preparing a response that could shake hip-hop and sports culture alike. Drake thought this was his victory lap, but in reality he just lit the fuse on his own destruction. Stay tuned, because what comes next will leave you speechless. For years, Drake has carried himself as hip-hop's golden boy, the hitmaker who could do no wrong, the cultural giant who turned every bar into a trending caption and every release into a global event. But behind the fame, behind the carefully polished image, the cracks have always been there. And now, with this latest track, the cracks have widened into a full-blown earthquake shaking the very foundation of Drake's empire. This isn't the first time Drake has tangled with Kendrick Lamar. Their feud goes back nearly a decade, to that infamous verse on Control, when Kendrick called out nearly every big name in rap. But the weight of his words landed hardest on Drake. That verse planted a seed of resentment, and while Drake played it cool in public, insiders always whispered that he never forgot the sting. Over the years, the tension flared up in subliminals, sly interviews, and industry shade. Kendrick built his reputation as the lyrical assassin, the artist who could tear down anyone with a single verse. Drake, meanwhile, leaned into his dominance as the commercial king. Two sides of hip-hop, two different thrones, but only one could truly rule. Then came LeBron James. At first glance, Drake and LeBron were friends, even collaborators. Drake shouted him out in songs, sat courtside at games, and played the role of celebrity buddy. But people forget, LeBron is more than just an athlete. He's a global icon, respected in ways Drake has always craved but never fully earned. Sources close to OVO have whispered for years that Drake has envied LeBron's untouchable status. No scandals, no major falls from grace, just dominance, loyalty, and love from millions. Meanwhile, Drake's every move gets questioned, dissected, and criticized. The envy was always there, bubbling beneath the surface. So when Drake decided to go after both Kendrick and LeBron in one song, the move was shocking but also predictable. This wasn't just music. This was years of bitterness, ego, and hidden jealousy, finally spilling out in raw form. And let's be clear, Drake didn't just toss out a casual diss. The lyrics were sharp, biting, and deeply personal. He accused Kendrick of hiding behind conscious rap to mask insecurities. He painted LeBron as a fake role model, suggesting the NBA legend only cared about image, not truth. But here's the problem. In 2025, fans aren't passive. Social media is a weapon, and it cuts both ways. Within minutes of the track leaking, Twitter threads exploded. Fans clipped the harshest bars, TikTok flooded with reactions, and YouTube commentators tore into Drake like sharks smelling blood. The question on everyone's lips wasn't, did Drake just win the beef? But rather, has Drake finally gone too far? And the answer was brutal. Kendrick's fan base mobilized instantly, spamming timelines with comparisons of Drake's diss versus Kendrick's catalog of legendary responses. LeBron's fans, millions strong across sports and culture, turned their disappointment into trending hashtags like Polly Drake is done and Protect LeBron. Even casual listeners felt uneasy, saying the song crossed lines that should have never been crossed. Insiders from Drake's camp began leaking their own horror stories. One claimed that even OVO producers begged Drake to leave LeBron out of it, warning him it would backfire. Another said the label feared the track might damage brand deals and partnerships, but Drake refused to listen. He thought he was invincible, one alleged insider said. He thought the world would cheer, But now even his own team is panicking. And if that wasn't enough, whispers started spreading that Kendrick had already recorded a response. One so devastating it could end Drake's credibility for good. Meanwhile, LeBron, who rarely responds to celebrity drama, allegedly told teammates, "I'll address it when the time is right." That one sentence alone sent shockwaves through the culture. If LeBron does respond, it won't just be a song. It'll be a cultural takedown. The stage is set, the lines are drawn, and the fire is already spreading. What Drake thought was his big moment of dominance is turning into a tidal wave of backlash, betrayal, and consequences he never imagined. But the craziest part, we're just getting started. Because as bad as this looks now, the first twist is about to hit, and it's far worse than anyone expected. The night the track dropped, everything shifted. Social media lit up like fireworks, but instead of praise, it was outrage. Drake opened his new record with a line that immediately drew gasps. Kendrick hiding in his Pulitzer. LeBron hiding in his rings. Legends built on borrowed crowns. I'm the one who really wins. It wasn't just shade. It was a calculated hit. He accused Kendrick of hiding behind awards instead of standing in the battlefield of rap. And when he turned his aim at LeBron, calling him a brand in sneakers, not a man of truth, it was like spitting directly into the face of millions who idolized the NBA legend. Within an hour, Twitter was ablaze. A leaked text thread, allegedly from one of Drake's close producers, surfaced. The messages read, "We told him this was suicide." No one disses LeBron. No one. Kendrick's going to eat him alive. If true, it meant Drake's own camp foresaw the disaster. Yet Drake ignored every warning. Why? Because in his mind, this was the strike that would finally crush Kendrick and silence doubters. He thought fans would rally, memes would crown him king again, and Kendrick's momentum would die. But instead, the world turned. TikTok reactions poured in. Fans filmed themselves throwing Drake vinyls in the trash. Hashtags like Dr. Drake canceled. LeBron deserves respect, and Kendrick the GOAT started trending globally. The backlash was immediate, but it didn't stop there. Screenshots of LeBron's close friends liking shady tweets about Drake started spreading. One read, "Never diss the king, this is over for him." And then the twist hit. Out of nowhere, an anonymous account dropped a 40-second clip on SoundCloud. The title? K. The Warning. Leak. The snippet was a voice that sounded uncannily like Kendrick Lamar, spitting venom directly at Drake. The boy's an actor. A faker, a fraud, crown on your head, but your empire's flawed. You aim at the king? You miss the throne, this chess game's done. Checkmate, you alone. The internet exploded. Was it real? Was it AI? Nobody knew. But the timing was perfect. The snippet, whether authentic or not, and the answer may lie in the next move. Because if Kendrick responds, if LeBron speaks, or if Jay-Z steps in, this could escalate into the most devastating takedown hip-hop has ever seen. The morning after Drake's diss track, the internet wasn't just buzzing, it was a full-blown inferno. Every major blog, hip-hop page, and sports network had headlines splashed across their front pages. Drake disses LeBron James and Kendrick Lamar, fans outraged. Kendrick leak sends Twitter into frenzy. LeBron's cryptic response destroys Drake without saying a word. And while fans expected the storm to simmer after a few days, the opposite happened. The controversy escalated into something far more explosive. It began with LeBron himself. During an Instagram live with his son Bronny, fans flooded the chat with comments like, "Respond to Drake," and "Don't let this slide." LeBron smirked, shook his head, and dropped a line that instantly detonated across social media. Some people rap about being kings. Others just live it. That was it. 8 words. But those words cut deeper than any bar Drake had written. Twitter lost its mind. One viral tweet with over 2 million likes read, "LeBron ethered Drake without even dropping a track." But that wasn't the only fire. Just hours later, a mysterious Twitter account posted what they claimed were leaked DMs between Drake and a major NBA agent. The alleged messages showed Drake venting about LeBron, saying, "He ain't as clean as people think. If I expose what I know, he's done." Fans went wild. Was it real? Was Drake really threatening to take down LeBron with hidden dirt? If so, the fallout could destroy not only their friendship, but also Drake's entire reputation as a loyal figure in sports culture. And then came Kendrick. That leaked snippet wasn't just a teaser. Out of nowhere, TDE's official account tweeted a single chess piece emoji with the caption, "Your move, boy." Minutes later, a SoundCloud link appeared. Kendrick Lamar's full diss track. Titled Crown of Glass, the song was devastating. Kendrick ripped Drake apart line by line, exposing insecurities, mocking his obsession with charts, and even throwing in a chilling warning. You play with the king. You gamble with fate. The boy with the hits can't escape from the hate. I've buried careers in less than a verse. This time I'll put you deeper than dirt in a hearse. Fans flooded YouTube with reaction videos, many calling it the death of Drake's career. Within hours, Crown of Glass had more streams than Drake's diss track. TikTok challenges popped up mocking Drake's bars, while Kendrick's lines were quoted on billboards by fans who literally spray-painted murals overnight. But here's where the shocking reveal came in, something no one saw coming. An insider leak posted by a hip-hop gossip blog claimed that Drake's own record label had tried to block the release of his diss track. According to the report, executives feared exactly what was happening now: brand damage, financial fallout, and fan revolts. The leak included an alleged email from a Universal Music exec saying, "If this goes out, he's not just battling Kendrick, he's battling America's love for LeBron." And as the leak spread, whispers turned into roars. Drake may have gone against his label's direct orders just to release this track. Meaning, the disaster wasn't just a PR nightmare. It could turn into a career-destroying civil war inside his own empire. Even worse, Kendrick wasn't fighting alone. Rumors surfaced that Jay-Z himself was quietly backing Kendrick, with sources claiming he'd cleared a sample for Crown of Glass as a gift. Fans saw this as confirmation. Drake had accidentally created the Avengers of hip-hop against himself. The internet started buzzing with one question. What happens if LeBron, Kendrick, and Jay-Z join forces publicly against Drake? The idea was so seismic that news outlets outside of music, ESPN, CNN, even BBC, ran segments on it. Drake had wanted headlines, but not like this. The final nail in the coffin that week came during LeBron's post-game interview. When asked about the controversy, he didn't even say Drake's name. He simply looked at the reporter and said, "Legends don't beg for crowns. They earn them." Boom, another mic drop. Fans roared in the arena, social media exploded, and Drake's silence became deafening. The escalation wasn't just about one song anymore. It was about something bigger, a cultural showdown. Drake versus Kendrick, Drake versus LeBron, Drake versus the very legacy he thought he'd already secured. And with every hour, every new leak, every cryptic response, the walls closed in tighter. But the shocking part? This wasn't even the peak of the chaos. Because while Drake scrambled behind the scenes, another bombshell revelation was brewing. One that could expose the very foundation of his career. And when it hits, it won't just backfire. It'll obliterate everything Drake thought he built. The fallout didn't just stay on rap blogs. It swallowed the entire culture. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, every platform turned into a battleground where fans, celebrities, and even corporations picked sides. At first, the reactions were pure chaos. Drake's fan base, usually one of the loudest and most loyal in music, seemed split down the middle. Some defended him, saying he was just keeping it real and calling Kendrick fans sensitive. But the louder voices drowned them out, people furious that Drake dared to cross the line with LeBron. One viral post summed it up. Dissing rappers is one thing. Dissing LeBron is like dissing Beyonce. You just don't do it. Then came the celebrities. Meek Mill, yes, the same Meek who Drake once crushed in a legendary beef, tweeted a cryptic laughing emoji followed by, "Tables always turn." The internet went berserk, claiming Meek was celebrating Drake's downfall. J. Cole, who usually avoids drama, posted on Instagram, "Respect the game. Respect the legends." Fans instantly connected the dots. Was he subtly backing Kendrick and LeBron? But the real blow came when Rihanna, Drake's former flame, liked a fan post that read, "LeBron handled Drake without even dropping a track." That's GOAT energy. Screenshots of the like flooded social media, sparking endless debates. Was Rihanna officially siding against Drake? The industry itself was no kinder. Radio stations began pulling Drake's diss track from rotation after complaints poured in from listeners. One DJ in New York went live saying, "We don't play songs that disrespect the king, period." Even ESPN commentators took jabs, with one analyst saying on air, Drake should stick to sitting courtside. Clearly, he can't handle the heat. Meanwhile, Kendrick's track Crown of Glass wasn't just trending, it was dominating. Streaming numbers shattered records, with fans calling it the ether of this generation. YouTube reactors wept on camera, some claiming they'd never seen a takedown this surgical. TikTokers created viral skits acting out Drake being dragged by Kendrick's bars. Memes spread like wildfire, showing LeBron dunking on Drake, Kendrick burying him in a coffin, and Jay-Z playing puppet master from above. But then the debate got nastier. Some fans began arguing that Drake was being set up by the industry, that powerful forces were uniting to destroy him because he threatened their icons. Conspiracy theories flew. Screenshots of old Jay-Z interviews resurfaced, people dissected Kendrick's chess references, and hashtags like Dark Industry Trap began trending. Drake's defenders argued he was the victim of an organized takedown. Still, those voices were drowned out by the majority, fans who felt betrayed. Comment sections were flooded with phrases like, he picked the wrong enemies, and this is career suicide. Even die-hard Drake stans admitted privately that the song didn't land the way he intended, and the celebrities didn't stop piling on. Snoop Dogg posted a clip of himself listening to Kendrick's diss with a blunt in hand, laughing and muttering, "Game over, nephew." The Shade Room lit up with endless reposts, each comment section more brutal than the last. Perhaps the most unexpected reaction came from Kevin Durant. During an interview, when asked about Drake dissing LeBron, he smirked and said, "You don't want smoke with the king, trust me." Fans screamed. If Durant is another titan of basketball and was siding with LeBron, then Drake had officially isolated himself from the sports world he'd once been embraced by. And behind the scenes, inside, and when it hits, the drama won't just escalate, it'll explode. Just when it seemed like Drake had hit rock bottom, the story took a turn that no one could have predicted. Fans thought the damage was already done. Kendrick's diss was dominating. LeBron's subtle clapbacks were killing Drake's image, and celebrities were piling on. But in the dead of night, a bombshell leak dropped that sent shockwaves through both the hip-hop world and the sports world alike. An anonymous hacker group posted what they claimed were leaked reference tracks, and in them, Drake allegedly used ghostwriters for parts of his diss. The internet froze. If true, it meant Drake didn't even pen all the bars aimed at Kendrick and LeBron. One chilling audio snippet had a voice note from an unknown writer saying, "Drake won't use all these lines, but the LeBron one's guaranteed to stick." The revelation was catastrophic. Fans immediately began questioning, if he didn't write it, why risk everything? Conspiracies spread like wildfire. Some argued Drake was being sabotaged from inside his own camp. Others claimed the ghostwriters intentionally fed him lines that would destroy him. Memes flooded the internet. Kendrick holding a pen labeled Truth, while Drake held a script labeled Borrowed. But the nightmare didn't stop there. Hours after the leak, LeBron dropped a cryptic tweet that broke the internet. Receipts, raps. No names, no context. But everyone knew who it was aimed at. Within minutes, hashtags like "ThoughtSure LeBron got receipts" trended worldwide. Fans speculated, did LeBron have private dirt on Drake? Was he about to release evidence that could end the rapper's reputation, not just musically, but personally? Then came the jaw-dropping twist. A high-profile journalist claimed they'd been approached with documents linking Drake to a scandal that could damage his partnerships forever. The details were blurred, the sources anonymous, but the timing was too perfect. Suddenly, the world wasn't just talking about diss tracks. They were whispering about legal trouble, endorsements collapsing, and secrets Drake had fought to keep buried for years. And through it all, Kendrick stayed silent. Not a word after Crown of Glass, no interviews, no posts. His silence spoke louder than Drake's entire track. LeBron, meanwhile, looked untouchable, dropping points on the court while fans chanted his name louder than ever. Jay-Z's rumored involvement only fueled the fire, with gossip blogs insisting he was helping orchestrate Drake's downfall from the shadows. The cliffhanger was undeniable. Would Drake fight back? Or had he finally met enemies too big to conquer? Was this the beginning of his redemption arc? Or the slow-motion collapse of one of hip-hop's most powerful empires? One thing was certain, the drama wasn't over. It was just getting started. And the next move could either save Drake's legacy or bury it forever. And there you have it. Drake thought he was firing shots that would crown him king once again, but instead, the bullets ricocheted and hit him harder than ever. Kendrick came back sharper. LeBron shut him down without breaking a sweat, and the internet may have just witnessed the beginning of Drake's biggest downfall yet. But the truth is, this story is far from over, because now the questions hang heavy. Did Drake really write those bars? Or was he set up by ghostwriters who pushed him into career suicide? What receipts does LeBron have tucked away, and will he actually drop them for the world to see? And most importantly, how will Kendrick play this? Will he stay silent like a king who already won, or will he twist the knife deeper with another devastating track? I want to hear what you think. Was Drake reckless for dragging LeBron into the beef? Or was he brave for saying what no other rapper would dare? Do you think this is the end of his dominance, or will he somehow pull off a comeback? Drop your opinions in the comments. I'm going to be reading every single one, because the fan debates are as wild as the drama itself. Make sure you smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe if you want to stay on top of every twist in this insane saga, and turn on your notifications, because trust me, the next update could drop at any moment, and you don't want to miss it. This isn't just a rap beef anymore. This is history unfolding in real time. And the question remains, is Drake about to rise again? Or fall harder than anyone in hip-hop ever has?